welcome back to News Weekly. Now, in the first segment of today's show, I address the biggest stories of last week, the Pak India crisis and the PPP and PMLN fighting. You know, I can't think of anything else that happened last week. Puts me in a really awkward situation. I mean, I don't have any other stories to cover. Nothing else of note really happened. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Whoa! What was that? Did you see that? Someone threw a shoe at me. Whoa! What's going on? Will you people stop throwing shoes at me? Why you... Wow! In the funniest thing to happen to the world since President Bush almost choked on a pretzel several years ago, last week an Iraqi reporter hurled both his shoes at President Bush during a press conference. You know, what's weird about that footage is that Bush looked surprised, but not too surprised when the shoe was thrown at him. It's almost like he was wondering why it hadn't happened earlier. Even the Secret Service, whose job it is to protect Bush, didn't exactly rush to subdue the attacker. They let the other journalists do it for them. So what does Bush think is the reason for the shoe throwing?
I thought it was interesting, I thought it was weird, I thought it was unusual to have a guy throw a shoe at you.
Not as interesting and weird as having a guy throw a laser-guided missile at you.
I don't know what his beef is.
Oh, I think you might have a clue or two as to what his beef is. On the heels of the shoe tossing, get it? Heels? I crack myself up. American media has been analyzing what shoe throwing could mean in the Arab world. A grave show of disrespect. The act is an Arab symbol of contempt. Throwing shoes at somebody is a supreme insult in the Middle East. In Iraqi culture, throwing shoes at someone is a sign of contempt. Thank God for the foreign press, who took the time out to explain these difficult nuances of an alien culture. Otherwise, we would surely have assumed that the Iraqi journalist threw his shoes at George W. Bush in a spontaneous outburst of fellowship and joy. In the days following the incident, there have been protests throughout the world. Not, it turns out, to protest the reporter having missed when he threw the shoes. Instead, as a show of support to the journalist Muntazar al-Zaidi, who is currently in prison and has reportedly been beaten. Even here in Pakistan, a procession protested his arrest with unintentionally cryptic signs like this. And what is a Pakistani protest without an effigy being burnt? Which begs the question, where do these guys get these effigies from? Every protest they have a new effigy to burn. Do they make them on the spot? Or is there some convenient place you can purchase custom-fit effigies to match your needs?
Does the fire inside you burn? Do you want to express yourself in flame? It's time to burn things down. Now you can buy 2 effigies for the price of 1 at Effigies R Us. That's right, 2 for the price of 1. Double the combustible mazza. Or avail our special group discount and buy enough effigies to let your love of Western nations be seen from space. And for a limited time only, special super realistic Salman Rushdie effigy free with every purchase. Burn things outside the way you burn on the inside. Effigies are us. तमाम effigy बच्चों के हाथ से दूर रखें. वज़ारत सेहत हुकूमत पाकिस्तान.
Wow, that's pretty convenient. I guess my Christmas shopping is sorted. Well, I suppose the final thing that has to be said about the whole shoe tossing incident is that despite the presence of the shoe, President Bush still wasn't the biggest heel on stage. Whoa! Come on, that was funny! Short break time, but when we come back, I'll talk to Dr. Adil Najam about democracy, his website, and what it was like to win a Nobel Peace Prize. More after this.